Welcome to our Choosing Beggars, where an entitled Kevin tries to kick a grandpa out of her own house. Our next Reddit post is from present_equivalent_5. Throwaway because some of my friends and family know my main. My uncle and his girlfriend lived with their son, a toddler, unsure his age, at my grandma's old house. My mom also lived there as she was diagnosed with schizophrenia a few years back and has been refusing treatment. Now that my grandma has moved into a new place, Uncle decides he likes her new house better than her old one and has told her to move out. For some reason he has always been the golden child, despite being involved with hard drugs and abandoning 5 of his 6 kids, and my grandma is far too kind and naive to say no. Now my grandma and mom are going to live with my grandma's sister, all because Uncle whined until he got what he wanted. Our next Reddit post is from Nicola Brinks. When I went to the supermarket the other day I noticed a homeless man sitting outside. I didn't have cash with me, but on my way out I offered him a few of the apples I'd bought, as I suspect he doesn't get a lot of fresh fruit. He pulled his nose up and said, "Don't you have money? I need €5. All I could think to reply was, "I have apples." Our next Reddit post is from iron_mollusk. Walking home tonight, just picked myself up a reduced sandwich from Spar for 40p, I'm broke as shit, and was asked by a homeless man if I could get him a sandwich. I spent all my money, i.e. the princely sum of 40p on my own dinner, but seeing as this guy has it harder than I decided that the kind thing to do was offer him my sandwich. He needs it more than I do probably. Right? So I give him my sandwich. He has a look at the packet, opens it up and takes a bite, so I'm here thinking great, I've done a good deed, karma will get me back, so my own financial position is irrelevant. The man then proceeds to take a bite and then immediately spits it out, throwing the slice to the floor. He then tells me that my sandwich is disgusting, followed by a quick and merciless "fuck you and your sandwich." So here I am, down half a sandwich, being mocked by the universe and feeling rather hungry. Our next Reddit post is from Slanted Shacks. I work as a community outreach worker and we walk around our downtown assisting our community in multiple different ways. Jerry is a regular in the downtown. He's always panhandling, which isn't illegal to do here, and we don't do anything to stop him because it's not really a big deal, but every time we try and ask him how he's doing or if we could help him in any way, he's salty AF. One day we were handing out water because it was particularly hot out, and when we approach Jerry with water he's quick to say he only wants it if it's cold. Then we see Jerry outside the farmer's market. We ask how he's doing and he says he's hungry. My colleague had a bunch of fries that he didn't eat at lunch and offered them to Jerry. "No. I want a hot dog." And he scowls at us. I mean, I don't expect him to be happy and bubbly, but he certainly makes it hard to want to help him. Our next Reddit post is from Rocky LM. I never thought I would post to this sub, but I have reached my limit with one of my 3 sisters, the eldest one. My sister was in a 15+ year relationship with a Greek guy. They bought a duplex together, moved in with their 2 kids. Fast forward 2 or 3 years. She is fed up of her boyfriend because they have nothing in common and their sex life is non-existent. She met an Italian guy and within 3 months of meeting move in together. With my sister's 2 kids I had 2BR apartment. Fast forward 8 months and now they are renting a house and she furnishes it with pool, patio stuff, absolutely everything. Even pays off this guy's debts and parking tickets. At this point she was bought out by her ex-BF and had some $250,000 of which she has easily blown through half of it by now. Guess what? My big sister decides that she's fed up of Italian guy and moves out, with her 2 kids, into an apartment my mom has. Mom thought this was for a couple months tops, but no. My sister throws a fit that she can't give her kids a good life unless she gets rid of mom's furniture in mom's apartment and has, listen to his shit, has her ex-BF help her move mom's furniture into his house. Oof. Now the ultimate choosy beggar. Recently we feared mom had Alzheimer's and after lengthy tests and shit we find out she is in the clear. My crazy ass BTCH if his sister goes on a rant on how she would have rather mom have the disease and, out of nowhere, decides mom's apartment belongs to her now. Sister has not paid any rent in the 5 months she's been there. Has paid no utilities, nothing. Claims mom owes her the apartment because mom was supposedly never there for us. My mom helped my sab of a sister with cash downs on all 3 of the places she has bought, including the duplex. Mom pays for one of my niece's clothing and entertainment. Mom raised her 2 kids while she decided to A. Smoke weed all day in the early 00s and then B. Return to school to become a social worker, all to never practice her profession. And yes, mom was helping her financially during these times too and taking care of her kids. Now once again we find out she is back with Italian guy and plan to move in together. TL/DR, big sister tries to take over mom's apartment, claims mom was never there for us but mom has financially supported her through all her crap. Sav equals stupid ass bitch. Our next Reddit post is from A Searing. As I read posts about choosing beggars asking for amateur photographers and expecting free shoots for exposure and practice, I can't help but think how much I want to get some equipment and volunteer for these jobs, just to do them. Badly. Every picture would have heads cut off, missing limbs, very obvious light issues, etc. The edits would be done horribly, looking like they were all made for Instagram or TikTok or having the edits just be the pictures all converted to sepia. There are so many jobs I could do this with. I could be an amateur editor, an amateur DJ, caricature artist, etc. I could be anything that wouldn't cause harm by me performing at the event, like an electrician, handyman, etc. would. I am sure the exposure Choosing Beggars give would not travel nearly as fast as I could rack up their jobs. Plus, I doubt they vet the people doing the jobs too well when they think they're getting a great deal. I would just love to teach them a lesson. Our next Reddit post is from feuding_lords. On Sunday this week I started cleaning out my garage. I had 2 plywood floor cabinets, of pretty decent build quality still in the original shipping packaging / with hardware / that I put to the curb labeled free. They are the kind that would go under a countertop, with a drawer and a door with an adjustable shelf inside. I didn't post it on Curb Alert or anything. A few hours later a man knocks very hard on my front door. I open the door and he asks frantically if he could put one of the cabinets on my front porch, which is covered, so it wouldn't get rained on while he transports the other to his shop. Apparently it's impossible to fit 2 standard-sized floor cabinets in the back seat of a 2008 Civic. He promised to come back later in the day to pick the other one up, so I said sure, no problem. Spoiler alert, he never shows up. 2 days go by and I now have to lug this thing back to the curb and put a new flyer on it saying it's free yada yada yada. Today, Wednesday, someone takes it. I didn't see who, I'm just glad more clutter is gone. I leave around 5 p.m. to pick up my kids from summer camp. As I'm pulling out the driveway the guy from Sunday is standing on my porch doing the WTF hand motions at me. I roll down the window and he, I shit you not, says these exact words. Hey, where's my cabinet? I have to pat myself on the back for not being a jerk to this guy. I'm working on my anger issues, so this was a big thing for me. I just calmly say I'm sorry, you said you were coming back Sunday and you didn't. I assumed you weren't coming back and I put it back on the curb. He goes, well, I wish I had known you were just going to give away the other. Now I'll have unmatching cabinets in my shop. I just said oh that's too bad and left. Life's hard sometimes. Our next Reddit post is from YouCanEther. White equals me, black equals / friend / URL. Our next Reddit post is from Falcate. Intern opportunity standards. We currently have the opportunity of offering a unique intern position on our working homestead retreat in Redacted. This spec sheet is intended to offer an overview and answer most questions surrounding the position. Please read this document carefully before submitting any additional questions. The property. 1. Our property is in the mountainous area surrounding Redacted, where we experience 4 distinct seasons. Our winters, while short, can be bitter cold. Our summers can be very humid with temperatures in the 90s. The terrain is an additional challenge as the property itself is on a rather steep grade. 2. This is a Christian homestead, which means that there are certain tenets to which we adhere while on property. A, B, C, D, E. 3. Along with the working homestead, this property contains several tiny homes rented short-term. Our guests may include tourists, groups attending an organized retreat, or those attending one of the training seminars we provide. Our interaction with guests will be limited to scheduled activities or job responsibilities on the homestead. All guests are to be shown the utmost courtesy and respect. Exceptional guest care is of utmost importance. 4. We strive to work within our community to develop strong bonds with our neighbors, local businesses, and other homesteads. Each member of our staff will be expected to work toward maintaining and upholding these relationships. 5. All applicants will be required to submit to a criminal background check prior to acceptance. This inquiry will be run through our local county sheriff department. The internship. Noun. /intrn/ A student or trainee who works, sometimes without pay, at a trade or occupation in order to gain work experience. The internship responsibilities. 1. This position requires long hours and physical exertion, working 6 days each week with most days extending well beyond 8 hours. Some evening or overnight hours may be required from time to time, as this is a working homestead with animals who require attention during illness, injury, and or birthing, as well as a retreat with guests who may have various needs requiring immediate attention. 2. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, 3, A, B, C, D. The internship benefits. 1. On-site housing will be provided for the intern, including approved family members, upon completion of the 30-day trial run. During the trial period, housing may be in the form of a tent, yurt, tiny home, or on-site RV. 2. An agreed-upon amount will be paid per home per event for housekeeping duties. 3. Fruit, vegetables, meat, dairy, and eggs will be provided from homestead resources when available. 4. Electricity, water, and sewer will be provided following the 30-day trial run. Variations of the above will be provided during the trial period but are dependent upon the housing during that time frame. 5. Opportunities to raise additional income through homestead projects will be offered as they arise. These may include things such as teaching a class, leading an excursion, building items for sale by homestead, etc. 6. Training and experience in all aspects of self-sustainable homesteading and retreat operations will be provided tuition-free. 7. A vehicle will be provided, or reimbursement for use of personal vehicle will be arranged for all homestead business. 8. Following a 1-month, 30-day trial period, the internship will be awarded in 6-month increments, with any one intern filling a maximum of 2 increments, or 12 months. There may be other opportunities that present themselves within the organization, but there is no guarantee of a position following the internship. As with any position, we will not tolerate theft of or the unauthorized use or sale of any homestead or guest property or information. Our guests and their exceptional treatment by staff is the very foundation of what we do. This homestead is a mission field, and one of our main functions here will be to earn funds for the support and education of orphans in Tanzania. As such, we operate responsibly, realizing that every cost greatly affects our effectiveness in that mission field. Thus, we offer this internship program tuition-free to those we accept. While we hope to provide opportunities for our interns to earn a stipend in addition to the benefits, we cannot provide, nor can we promise, a substantial income during your stay here. It is critical that any applicant realize that this is the simple life, but in no way is it the easy life. Once you have completed an internship with us, you will have learned many useful skills that you can take with you through life, for use on your own self-sustaining homestead or in a similar career field. You might even turn those skills into future opportunities, training others to live a more wholesome, healthy lifestyle. Whatever your goal in learning these skills may be, we would love to explore the opportunity of working together. Our next Reddit post is from Miss Killian. Miso was picking up pizza, a chain that rhymes with Pamelas, when approached by a woman. She asked Miso to please buy her a pizza for her hungry kids. Miso is a sweet softie and always tries to help people. Besides, the pizza are pretty inexpensive. A medium one topping is $7, so they said, "Of course, come order one and I'll get it." The woman proceeded to order close to $50 worth of pizzas and wings. Miso just rolled their eyes, paid, and left with our small order. I said I would have shut the woman down. She said a pizza, but So just shrugged and said, "Well, I guess she had a lot of kids." And maybe she did, but she still took advantage of the kindness. Luckily, it wouldn't sway So from helping anyone else in need. Cut to me, around a year later, and a man approached me on the way into Mexican restaurant and asked for a taco or burrito, only to order the most expensive steak fajitas on the menu. I guess we're both easy to spot targets. Update, I told Miso we were getting a little chastised in the comments and they wanted me to add. Well, I had just sat through a sermon on Yom Kippur on helping the needy and poor, and I did say order what you want, so I did not want to go back on my word and felt extra food will never be a waste, and let it go. Our next Reddit post is from Excessively Detailed. When I was 16 and prom sucked, we ended up with our dates at the nearest club. At that age I had little to no money, but one of the upperclassmen slipped me a bit of cash to help get my date and me inside. Spirits were high and I was already half drunk but still very socially awkward, and at some point when we were shooting the shit he happened to say, politely, quietly, that it wasn't a problem, I didn't have to pay him back, and he didn't mind helping me out. Before I had a chance to think, and this sticks with me decades later, I blurted out, loudly enough for people to hear, "No, if you were actually helping me out you would have paid the total price for both of us to get in." Alex. You had every right to throw my dumbass down the hill and leave me to bleed out, but you were too cool to let that even faze you. You probably don't even remember it, but I do. There were a lot of bullies in school, but you were one of the few who treated me like a person, and didn't deserve anything like that. Wherever you are, I hope you're slaying it. And for what it's worth, I promise you it won't happen again. I hope I can make it up to you one day. Our next Reddit post is from General Waste Zero. Don't know if this counts, but I really needed to rant. Me and my sister only have a small age gap, so it's not uncommon for us to share clothes and general things we both might need, but lately she's been so demanding. The other day, she asked to borrow a bag. I offer her a nice black one that I don't use anymore, but she insisted that I gave her my new bag which I was using that day. The next day was quite hot and I had just come back home from a day out. I asked my dad if I could borrow the fan. We only have one, for a bit until I cooled down, only to bring it to my room and hear my sis screaming that she's boiling and I should sit in the heat even though she hadn't bothered asking for the fan whilst I was out. Then, today she states that she needs to curl her wigs. I offer her an expensive set of self-heating curlers, which work as they cool down. She instead insisted that she wants to heat up the wigs with straighteners and that I need to give her my brand new foam rollers which I had purchased to use tonight. She might not be the worst CB on here, but she constantly bombards me saying I'm selfish and I can't help think maybe I'm being unreasonable, but at the same time I can't borrow her things I'm using, right? Context: she refuses to get a job to pay for her own things, so instead she guilts my parents into buying them for her. I've brought her stuff in the past to avoid situations like this, but she's relentless in leeching off of us all. Our next Reddit post is from Killer Lyric. So I'm sitting at my local convenience store at 5 a.m. waiting on my ride home drinking a coffee. This crackhead walks up to me. "Can I have a cigarette?" Me being a nice guy takes out my pack. It's a Newport 100 pack. She's like, "Oh my god, a Newport." "Sorry, they ain't Newports, they are rolling cigarettes." She says, "Oh, that sucks. Well, I guess that will have to do." So I, a little irritated, handed her the cigarette. Then her crackhead boyfriend walks up. "Hey bro, you have a cigarette?" "Not so nice anymore." "No, I just gave your old lady my last one." He says, "Really, you ain't got one more?" "No." Then 2 seconds later, crackhead lady comes back. "You wouldn't happen to have $2 or $3? I'm pissed at this point." "No, I don't have any money. Please leave me alone." This is the point. Crackhead boyfriend gets up in my face. "You ain't got to be a asshole." Okay. 1. I gave your bulldog faced looking crackhead whore a cigarette, which you are now blowing the smoke in my face from. 2. I'm sure that cop that just pulled in would love to run your pockets. They turn around, notice said cop, and flick the cigarette I gave them at me. Scum of the earth at 5 a.m. at my local convenience store. Our next Reddit post is from +_opportunity_503. My wife and I decided to sell some used dishes that we had on FB Marketplace. They were probably 20 years old. A few pieces were missing or chipped. Apparently this brand of dishware is collectible, and when we were looking online to figure out how much to charge, we found out the teapot for the set was worth $200 in mint condition. Ours had a chip on the spout, so we had a too bad moment about it, and then posted the entire set for $40. We included pictures, one of which had the teapot, showing the chip on the spout, and a list of everything included, including a note that some items were chipped from use. Maybe 30 minutes after we posted, a woman contacted us and said she wanted the set and wanted to know if we would take $30 for it. We were fine with that. She said it would take her 45 minutes to get out to us. She shows up about an hour later and I show her the box of dishes. She immediately pulls out the teapot, turns it over, sees the chip, and says, "Oh, I'm not interested." I tell her that is no problem and sorry. She drove out only to leave empty-handed. Then she started complaining that we should have called out that the teapot was chipped or had better pictures. I told her the dishes were listed as having pieces missing or chipped and she could have requested a picture of any item if she had wanted to, but did she really think we would list a full set with a undamaged $200 teapot for $40? She still was grumbling about wasting her time as she left. My assumption was she didn't want to ask any specific questions about the teapot before she came out because she assumed we were just idiots selling a $200 item we didn't know we had for cheap, and she intended to resell it, so she didn't want to clue us in by asking questions. After she left, we sold the set to a woman who just needed some plates for her kids. I felt much better about that sale. Thank you so much for watching these tales from Reddit. Consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video if you enjoyed. Also consider checking out one of our other videos.